This news break is brought to you by the Mitsubishi End of Financial Year event. In stock and good to go.
Good evening. The minimum wage will increase from July, benefiting millions of Australian workers. The woman killed in a house explosion at Wayland has been identified as Jasmine May. The state government has pledged $2 billion to run the Parramatta Light Rail to Sydney Olympic Park. The Panthers have moved to sack troubled star Taylor May. And James Tedesco has already made an impact, bringing a wealth of leadership to the Blues. We'll have more in the late news for you, which is coming up tonight at 11:05.
It's the Mitsubishi End of Financial Year event for Eclipse Cross and Outlander petrol-only variants. Get free registration, stamp duty and CTP insurance, plus a $1,000 cash card. Excludes dealer delivery. Offer ends June 30.
When I put my uniform on, I'm ready to help someone on the worst day of their life.
Oh. It's the ambulance here, mate.
As soon as we arrive, they just know they're in safe hands and that we're going to do everything we can to help them.
Does that feel better? Yeah?
I wouldn't have guessed you were 104.
I genuinely think laughter is the best medicine.
Let's go. Teddy wants to go. You're very brave.
To know that you bring someone that's very unwell to hospital and they get better. It's one of the best feelings in the world.
I promise I'll look after you.
Second to God, these people.
Let's get you in the ambulance, eh?
I feel really proud to wear this uniform and I feel really proud to be a paramedic.
Blow, 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 and relax. Nice, slow, deep breaths.
On this episode of Paramedics,
Your heart rate, you can see it's going extremely fast.
a young mum's life in danger from a heart racing out of control.
If it goes for too long and too fast, her heart may actually stop.
Airway's not great.
Dan feels the pressure during a roadside emergency.
We're between a rock and a hard place here. Our patient now has blood coming up his airway.
All right, let's put the tube on.
We need to act quickly.
Poor fella.
Macy?
Yeah?
Have you told him about your hot paramedic list yet?
My hot...
You've got a list?
Okay, Holly, I don't even think I've told you this.
And will Aaron get a 5-star rating from his live wire patient?
She tells me about this list. I'm kind of shocked.
Bingo, bango, bongo, you got it.
It's the start of shift for intensive care paramedic Bill, and his first job of the day has just come in.
So we're on our way to a 31-year-old patient who is complaining of SVT, which is basically a heart rate that is way too fast. The faster that we can get there, the better it's going to be for her.
The life-threatening SVT can be triggered by a wide variety of causes.
Things like coffee, drug use, sleep, anxiety, being pregnant. So there's a number of different things that can cause you to go into SVT, and it could be any one of those.
Depending on how long this patient's been in SVT, can really determine how bad her outcome could be. And cardiac arrest is definitely the worst case scenario. Knock, knock, ambulance. How you going, Kelsey? I'm Bill.
When I first arrived, Kelsey doesn't look very comfortable. She looks very sort of anxious. She looks quite pale. She's a little bit sweaty. So I know that she's not quite coping as well as what I hoped a 31-year-old heart would be doing in this stage of an SVT.
Chest pain, 7 out of 10. No history of SVT.
No history at all. Okay, first time. And you were standing in the kitchen cooking. That's it.
Doing anything.
All right. You feeling lightheaded at all?
Felt lightheaded straight away.
Okay.
And then my vision went blank.
Yeah, all right. And then you made your way to the couch. You didn't drop to the floor, hit your head or anything?
I had my little one running around. I couldn't drop.
Oh, no.
If this was me, I felt my heart racing. I felt my vision going blurry and black. I've got my daughter running around the house. I could only imagine how scary it would be to call 000 to let them know I need help immediately.
Have you had any coffee this morning?
Just a tea.
Just a tea. Any Red Bulls, anything sort of with high amounts of caffeine in it? So this is just the first time this ever happened out of nowhere. Strange.
Yeah.
Right, what a Monday morning for you.
Despite there being no obvious reason for Kelsey's racing heart, her life is in real danger.
So if it goes for too long and too fast, she might have a heart attack, or her heart may actually stop, and that will eventually cause a cardiac arrest.
Lamborghini Urus? That's some big ass brakes. There's some things in life you'll just never own, and that is one of them.
Today, Aaron's heading out for a shift as a solo responder. The young up-and-comer thrives in his role as an intensive care paramedic.
In my position, I feel like there's a level of reliance on you to be calm and thrive on pressure situations. When we save someone's life, it is euphoric. They look you in the eye, they say thank you, and it's the most genuine thank you you've ever got in your life. We're going priority 3 to a 19-year-old female. There's a crew on scene for a dislocated shoulder during netball.
Aaron's first job of the day is an SOS from a young sportswoman.
I've done a few of these, actually, and they look extraordinarily painful. The other thing is this might be her first time shoulder dislocation, which can be a risky/hard thing to get in. Shoulder dislocations are quite challenging. Ball and socket joints like your shoulder are supposed to be really tight and form like a really good capsule. When they come out, they cause lots of pain and potential trauma to the area. I dislocated my jaw once playing hockey. I was in the wrong size goalie helmet filling in, and it must have pulled it out the wrong way or something, and albeit the wrong thing to do at the time, I just punched it back in. Just like that, straight through, bang. And now I look back at that and go, it was effective, but there's much less violent ways to do that. There's so many people.
Waiting at the busy netball centre is 19-year-old Macy.
My name's Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
Hello, how are you?
Better now you're here.
What have you done? I can see that.
Done a good job
As you can see, today on the court, she's tried to intercept the ball. She's reached out, goes hit, and pops the shoulder.
Okay.
Come back, she's been as chirpy as she is right now.
Does it hurt though?
Oh, like a bitch. But we're pushing through. We're persevering.
Good.
And it's doing great. She's a good sport.
Macy is in good spirits. She's laughing.
No tears.
I'm glad. She's under good pain relief from the crews on scene, and it's a relief to see someone with a dislocated shoulder and a smile on their face.
I was going to try and pop it in, like
Back in?
Pop in and
Yeah. Keep playing. Yeah.
But despite the bravado, Macy needs her painful shoulder put back into position. And it's not going to be easy.
I'll just have a bit of a feel if we can put it back in here today. What I want you to do as well is slip your hand out of here. All right. Are you pretty relaxed? Like this isn't tight?
Hold on. Give me one more puff and then you can be like, Choo!
When I begin to palpate Macy's shoulder, she's got an obvious deformity. There's what looks like a slight drop, or I refer to it as almost like a waterfall that comes off her shoulder. See this here, my shoulder? I want you to slowly reach up and put your hand on top of my shoulder, just up here, ever so slowly.
Oh my God.
You can keep breathing on that, yeah. The joint's in a position that it shouldn't be.
Hold on.
You're right. The longer a joint stays out, the harder it can be to get the joint back where it should be. Big breaths.
Oh my God, hold on.
Just keep breathing.
So what we're going to do is we're going to stop your heart rate from going this fast, okay? Because 245, that's a little bit too fast.
Intensive care paramedic Bill is on an urgent call-out to help 31-year-old Kelsey.
We'll chuck some pads on before we do anything further as well. These are the pads that we put electricity through.
Despite having no history of cardiac issues, the young mum's heart has suddenly gone into a dangerous rhythm called SVT. Her heart could stop at any moment.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to give you a little bit of fluid. Make sure it's primed. Awesome. The main purpose of giving saline or salt water into someone's body before we try any SVT treatment, it might actually be able to trick the heart into thinking that everything's okay. What's your name, mate? Adam. Adam, nice to meet you, mate. I'm Bill. All we're going to do is we're going to try and get your wife's rhythm out of this rhythm that's going in. So you can see it's going extremely fast, and we're going to try and stop that.
This sudden emergency has shocked Kelsey's husband, Adam, but he's trying to stay strong for his family.
I'm feeling a little bit nervous and anxious. Yeah, just fear of losing her or anything seriously going wrong. It's definitely scary.
This is Ollie. Mummy's okay.
Also anxiously watching on are Kelsey's mum, Tracy, and her little son, Ollie.
How old's your little one?
He turned 2 in March.
Oh, fantastic.
The toddler and his mum were the only ones home when she collapsed.
Kelsey, we've given you a bit of fluid. Hasn't moved much to your blood pressure, so we're going to try and do that Valsalva manoeuvre. We're going to get you to sit up, if that's right.
Bill will now try to reset Kelsey's heart rate using a technique called the Valsalva manoeuvre.
Sounds a bit strange, but we'll get you to sit up, blow into the syringe as hard as you possibly can, and you're going to basically blow and blow and blow and blow until you feel like you're almost going to pass out. And then fingers crossed, that'll trick your heart into thinking that you've got enough pressure, and your heart will flick back into a normal rhythm.
But there are no guarantees the treatment will work.
If this all goes to plan, we'll get a normal reversion. If it doesn't go to plan, we've got blue kit ready. If we get to a point where we stop her heart and it does not restart, we want to make sure that we've got our blue kit, which is our airway kit, ready at the hand in case she does go into a cardiac arrest and we need to manage her airway quickly. It's really important. You've got to wrap your lips around that and you've got to blow as hard as you possibly can. Take a nice couple of big, deep breaths, wrap your lips around it and blow as hard as you can. So blow, 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 blow.
All right, hold on to the top of my shoulder.
Good girl, Macy. Good girl, darling. Good girl.
Intensive care paramedic Aaron is attempting to put Macy's shoulder back in after it popped out during a netball match.
That's all we're going to do. What I want you to do is just relax as much as you can. The joint's in a position that it shouldn't be. We use general massage around the joint so that it relaxes all the muscles that hold the shoulder in place in hope that it just pops back in.
Can you still taste that whistle?
How's your shoulder feel now? Better?
Did that go back in?
You did. In Macy's circumstance, a slight bit of massage with a little bit of downward traction, and I just caught it going back in its joint, and then everyone else sort of went, is that it? That's it. All right, we'll lay off this for a bit, because otherwise we'll be picking you up off the floor.
Oh my God.
Slip this in your hand.
Suddenly, the chatty Macy is unusually quiet as the green whistle kicks in.
She'll come back around in a
There you go.
Woo! Oh my God. So,
How's your head feel?
you know what I can really do with this right now?
Want a water?
A hot dog.
And Macy had the time of her life on the green whistle, but her shoulder's back where it should be, and that causes a huge reduction in pain. And Macy does not need another one. She's already talkative enough. Macy,
Sorry.
what I want you to do now you're a bit more awake is don't move your arm around, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just keep it in the sling. It's probably worth an x-ray of the joint.
Macy will need scans to check there's no structural damage to her shoulder.
Oh my God.
Can I drive?
No!
Absolutely not, Hazel.
All right, don't slip on your socks,
I'll try not to.
because then the whole world's going to see you go A over T.
A over T?
Yeah.
Just say it, you know.
No, I can't. I'm not allowed to.
You sound like a grandpa, but in the best way, like a really hot grandpa.
Yes. When Macy calls me a hot grandpa, I'm kind of shook, but at the same time I sit there and I'm like, I'll take it. All right, you ready?
Funny.
Okay.
Pain's still enough a bit. Can I have some more green?
I don't know. As much as I want to agree with you, it doesn't work like that.
The crew will take Macy to a local medical centre,
Aaron's got me covered here. Don't even worry.
and it promises to be a very interesting ride.
Woo!
Is Sam okay?
Yeah, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
He's just a bit under the weather.
Okay.
He should be fine tomorrow.
Back at base, it's the start of a new shift, and there's been a last-minute change to the crew.
Are you going to be okay without your wingman?
Ask me again a bit later and I'll let you know.
Chris usually works with his best friend and housemate Sam, but a case of man flu means Laura's stepping in while her usual partner Aaron works solo.
Laura loves a chat, and I also very much love a chat. If Sam's not already jealous that I'm working with Laura, I'm going to go home and tell him what an amazing day I had and that he's on thin ice whether he comes back or not.
You might actually be better.
Yeah,
I might
that's
have to
it.
give him the boot and tell him he's been replaced.
I love that.
SA ambulance service. Tell me exactly what's happened.
While Chris and Laura get better acquainted, a worrying call is coming through to the Emergency Operations Centre.
My husband is 85 with Parkinson's. He had a fall early this morning and now he is very cold and very shaky.
I'm organising the help for you now.
The new partners have now been dispatched to the job.
Oh,
Oh my God.
But they're off to a rocky start.
We're on our way, lights and sirens, to this job when all of a sudden some person in front of us has just stopped.
Just stop. Oh, stop. All right.
Stop driving.
Good start for you, isn't it?
I shouldn't be here. This is a nightmare. I haven't worked with Chris before, and he probably thinks I'm the worst driver ever. This person doesn't know what they're doing in front of me.
We are going to a two-vehicle accident on the corner of Main North Road and
Regency Road, involving an ambulance.
Yeah. All right, we're good. Whew. So John has had a fall this morning, says he's injured his forearm, has a history of Parkinson's, and is currently uncontrollably shaking.
Parkinson's disease is a brain disorder that affects people's control of their body's movement.
Especially with the shivering, it gets determined whether it's his Parkinson's or if it's maybe an onset of an infection that's exacerbating his Parkinson's symptoms, potentially. Sure. The dangerous part is if he's had an infection for a little while, whether he's heading down the sepsis line.
Sepsis is a life-threatening reaction to an infection that can cause lethal organ damage.
And does he live at home by himself or with other people there that support him? I'm always worried when we're heading to jobs that these poor elderly patients are by themselves. They haven't got anyone to support them.
Hello.
Come in.
Thank you.
John's wife.
Nice to meet you. My name's Chris. This is Laura. Is this John in here, is it?
I'm so relieved when we get to John's house and we see Elizabeth, his beautiful wife, they're caring for him.
Hello, John. You had a fall this morning.
As I walk into John's bedroom, I see him lying in bed, shaking uncontrollably, and he looks quite unwell. I'm suspecting John's got an infection, and if it goes untreated, it could lead to sepsis, which can be fatal.
A bit warm.
Blow, 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 blow. Push, 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 and relax. Nice, slow, deep breaths.
Bill is attempting to reset 31-year-old Kelsey's dangerously fast heart rate with a method called the Valsalva manoeuvre.
During this relaxing phase, we flip her legs up in the air, try to trick her heart into thinking that she's got enough blood pressure that she can stop her own heart rate from going too fast.
How are you feeling there, Kelsey? Feel a bit strange? Someone's going to pop your legs back down?
Unfortunately, that doesn't happen for Kelsey this time.
We've already given fluid, we've tried a Valsalva. I reckon we go to medication.
That means that we're one option out already. So the next one's going to be medication, and the following one's going to be electricity.
This medication, adenosine, might make you feel a bit strange, okay? Because what it actually does is it almost stops your heart while it tries to restart.
Adenosine, it is a highly effective drug. There's one major drawback though. The patients can feel like an impending doom where they feel like they're about to die, which is absolutely awful and scary.
Right, so on 3, you're going to feel a little bit strange, okay?
But with Kelsey's heart rate racing out of control, if we don't give her adenosine, this could do irreversible and irreparable damage to her heart.
Give it a good squeeze. Let me know how you're feeling, okay? Just nice, slow, deep breaths. Your husband's right behind you.
Does it hurt anymore?
No.
Perfect.
I'm not even feeling like high or anything. Like, I'm feeling great.
Right.
Aaron is taking live wire Macy for x-rays after he manipulated her dislocated shoulder back into position.
Let me just call. Oh.
Macy.
Hi. Hi, this is my best friend Holly. This is Aaron. Aaron, say hi.
Hello.
I dislocated my shoulder again. Yeah, I was an idiot in netball.
The 19-year-old previously dislocated the same shoulder, so Aaron wants to check there's no ongoing damage that requires surgery.
It's popped back in.
When we're in the back of the ambulance and Macy's FaceTiming her friend Holly, I sit there and go, there's no way I'm FaceTiming my mates in the back of the ambulance. Maybe I'm a bit of a grandpa.
My plans are ruined.
What?
I was meant to go see someone tonight and now I can't.
Why not?
Can I? Can I?
Were you meant to have a date with someone tonight? Or
A date, yeah.
why the hesitation?
Because I wouldn't really classify it as a date.
Why not? Are you just hanging out with them? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that.
I'm picking up what you're putting
You're
down.
picking up. You're picking up. Good job, buddy. Good job.
I reckon we've got some deep, dark secrets in there.
You did say A over T before, so I'm not expecting you to say SEX out loud, but you know.
I was just being nice.
Yeah, no, you're such a gentleman.
Macy?
Yeah?
Have you told him about your hot paramedic list yet?
My hot...
You've got a list?
Okay, Holly, I don't even think I've told you this.
How many times have you been in an ambulance?
I think 6, 7 times.
Sheesh. She tells me about this list. I'm kind of shocked.
Say bye to Aaron. Love you too, bye.
With Aaron now up to speed on all things Macy, they arrive at a local medical centre for scans.
Hello! Did you miss me? Yes, I did. Knew it. Ready? Oh, yeah.
Got challenges?
Give me, go.
Silence for 30 seconds. As we take Macy out of the ambulance, I've got one last challenge for her. Stay silent for 30 seconds.
You haven't even asked about my love life. You haven't asked about Aaron's.
Or mine. What am I doing tonight? What's she doing tonight?
Jesse, tell me all about it.
And there it came. She couldn't stop. This is Macy. Macy can talk underwater. Making sure that Macy's got no damage to that shoulder is really important. Hopefully she can get back on the netball court, FaceTime her friends and just keep talking. Macy was funny. And most of all, I'm just glad that we could relocate her shoulder for her, hopefully, and she's got plenty of time to figure it out at 19. I didn't even know what I was doing with my life at 19, / what I was eating for breakfast the next morning.
You're doing really, really well.
31-year-old Kelsey has been given the powerful drug adenosine in the hope it will jolt her heart out of a dangerous rhythm known as SVT.
Nice, slow, deep breath.
If the treatment doesn't work, intensive care paramedic Bill will have to take the drastic action of giving Kelsey electric shocks in front of her worried husband, Adam.
There we go. We've had a change. You're doing really, really well. Great job. Beautiful. All right, Kelsey. Your heart is out of that rhythm. We've stopped it. How do you feel? Feeling a little bit better? How's that pain in the chest?
Gone.
It's gone? Yeah. Fantastic. So that medication worked. The heart is sort of like a grandfather clock that never wants to stop. We have to physically stop it with medication, and then once that medication wears off, it will then restart. Sort of like having a hard reset on a laptop or an iPhone. We've just literally done that to your heart. Awesome, your heart is looking really good for what it's just been through, okay?
Even though Bill has successfully returned Kelsey's heart to a safe rhythm, she will need to be transported to hospital for further treatment and observation.
Beautiful. All right, then I'm going to come grab a seat next to you in the ambulance. I am ready to rock and roll.
With Kelsey's heart now safely being monitored, Bill's keen for the young mum to fill in some of the missing blanks.
So what are you cooking in the kitchen?
I just got a stick of butter out from the fridge. It just felt like my heart was beating really, really quickly.
Yep.
And then my vision went like black.
Yep.
And Ollie's jumping all over me and I'm trying to ring Mum.
Yeah, oh, well, you're lucky you made it to the couch.
Yeah.
This could have been a very different scenario for Kelsey. She's got Ollie running around the house as a 2-year-old, finding Mum on the floor unconscious. I know that I will definitely be teaching my daughter what to do if they find Mum or Dad on the floor, or how to call an ambulance. And I'm just happy for Kelsey that she was able to call 000 when she did.
I was cooking soup.
Oh, what sort of soup?
Pumpkin. I think Mum said that she'll finish it off for me.
There's no one in the airlock.
Oh, great. So we can go straight in, yeah?
A cardiology team is on standby, to investigate why Kelsey's heart suddenly went into SVT.
For Kelsey to be living a very normal life, 2-year-old in the house, and to have life flipped on its head with a lifelong cardiac condition would be a huge shock to her system, let alone her family. Hopefully this never occurs again, but for us to be able to get there quickly, treat her effectively, this is a good news story at the end of the day because she is alive.
You warm enough? Yeah, you're not shivering anymore, which is nice.
Did you get up too much on the weekend?
Had the usual footy day yesterday.
Coaching?
It's good, yeah, coaching.
After a morning working solo, Aaron's now joining forces with his mentor and fellow intensive care paramedic, Dan.
Had a couple of home games. First game of the year that my actual son was in my team.
So you coach your young lad?
Mm.
Oh, no. Is that weird or like good or?
Like if he stuffs up, I don't give him any grace, put it that way.
I like harsh realities.
Well,
but that's what I respond to.
Yeah.
As a team leader and footy coach, Dan loves helping people to perform at their best.
There can be nothing greater than that satisfaction of when you get the job done collectively as a team and you have an awesome outcome for a patient that without your help would not have survived. You know, in a sporting term, it's like you've won the premiership.
Did you win your footy match though that you coached?
We did win. We're having a bit of a stellar season.
Is that because the coach is good?
I'd like to take credit, but I don't think so.
With Dan and Aaron on standby for their first emergency.
Is this unusual shaking for you, or is this normal?
No, this is extreme.
This is extreme, okay.
Chris and Laura are trying to help 85-year-old John. Suffering from Parkinson's disease, he's now shaking uncontrollably while his worried wife Elizabeth looks on.
Let's check a few things out and then we'll go from there, okay?
The paramedics are worried a potentially deadly infection is the reason behind John's intensified tremors.
Elizabeth, the shaking, John's saying this is worse than normal for him.
It's a bit worse than normal.
When do you think that started?
Well, we went to the park with the dog, I think, when we got back to the park. But
Was that this morning, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
when John came back from the park, he said, I don't feel very well, I need to lie down. And then he said, I think you should call an ambulance. And when he said that, I knew that he was really unwell.
Have you been feeling okay recently, John?
On and off.
On and off, yeah. John has a bit of an elevated temperature today, so it sounds as though then he may have an infection somewhere.
John has difficulty swallowing, so often John chokes on his saliva, and some of that saliva may be in his lungs, and I'm worried right now that he might actually have pneumonia, and often people with Parkinson's die of pneumonia.
Beautiful. You do feel quite warm, my friend, don't you?
John and Elizabeth have been married for 31 years. As John's Parkinson's disease has worsened, Elizabeth has dedicated herself to his care.
I can imagine that John and Elizabeth have had some really, really tough times, especially with his diagnosis, but they have definitely made the most of their lives. Did you say you guys have been away somewhere?
Yeah, right.
Oh, nice.
We went to the cemetery and looked, John's a geologist, and we went and had a look at the rocks and the rock weathering.
You're a geologist, John.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, a professor.
Yeah.
Oh, should have been calling you prof this whole time, hey?
Now I'm finished now.
Oh, that's all right. Once a professor, always a professor, aren't you?
John was a professor of geology, a highly intelligent man. This disease doesn't discriminate, and it's devastating to see how it can be so detrimental to someone's quality of life.
We're going to need a trip to hospital just to get a blood test, maybe a urine test to see what the cause is.
If John does have pneumonia, he will need urgent treatment to prevent it from spreading into his bloodstream.
There we go. Well done.
I suspect that this isn't Elizabeth's first rodeo.
That's it, we've got to twist around this way.
Despite everything that's going on, I can still see how deeply she cares for John and how worried she is.
Alrighty, few bumps.
I love him a great deal, and I hopefully tell him that every night. And he certainly tells me that every night too. Darling, I'm going to drive down, all right? Okay, so I'll see you down there. It's quite distressing thinking he might not come back from that trip to hospital.
We'll look after you until then, hey?
Sounds good, thanks.
Dan and Aaron's shift is just ramping up. They're on their way, lights and sirens, to an unconscious man discovered by a passerby.
So he's got blood coming from his mouth.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, he could have been assaulted or...
Yeah. Could have fainted and fallen and hit his head.
Yep.
Anything. It's hard to say. I mean, it could be extremely serious. So this could be all or nothing. This could be somebody laying on the ground who potentially is sleeping. Just around the bend here. Or, if he's truly unconscious and he's bleeding from the mouth, he could have a major head injury. This could be life-threatening.
How you going?
He's got radial. Just checking her blood pressure now.
He's not moving. He's lying in a pool of his own blood surrounding his face. It potentially looks like there's some facial fractures and we're not getting any response from him.
Do you want a board?
Yeah, can we get a board straight on the bed?
Yep.
We'll just take this off quickly. So we have no history on this gentleman?
Absolutely nothing.
In this case, we don't know what he was experiencing and what led him to fall. It's a mystery.
Just push him on his back. We'll just get as many clothes as we can off. So we're self-ventilating, but not effectively.
Our patient has a pulse. That's great. He is breathing.
So, blood in the mouth.
But I can definitely tell by the sound of the gurgling that his airway is not clear.
Can we even just escalate? Because he's got SATs of in the 50s.
The patient's oxygen levels are now dropping dangerously low.
How long are we going to be until we move?
I want to be out of here in less than 10.
We're between a rock and a hard place here. We're out in the community. We can't yet get to hospital. Our patient now has blood coming up his airway. We need to act quickly.
Okay, count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Do we go for an airway and intubate this patient? Or do we just load him and go to hospital?
Airway's not great, so we're going to have a look.
We've got to make that decision in the next few seconds.
Now, as promised, we're going to give you a little bit of Panadol, okay?
Chris and Laura are preparing to take retired geologist John to hospital.
I think I've underestimated how difficult this is.
The 85-year-old has Parkinson's disease and is at increased risk of a deadly lung infection.
As we get older, it's a lot harder for us to fight off these infections. Pneumonia can take over and it can cause sepsis in the older population, and that is really hard to come back from.
There we go. All right. All right, we can start. Hopefully that medication will start to work shortly and you might or may not help with the shakes. Okay. John, how long did you work at the university for?
45 years.
45 years, my goodness.
Does a geologist have a favourite rock? Or do you just love all of them?
Diamond.
I was gonna, smart answer.
100%, it's got to be it, doesn't it?
They're also a girl's best friend, aren't they? We're not too far now. Just gonna check your temperature again, John.
Despite giving John IV paracetamol on the way to hospital, his temperature continues to increase. This is concerning because I'm starting to think the infection is taking hold.
You can jump up there, Elizabeth. I'm gonna take this one off and I'm gonna let your lovely wife sit next to you. She's probably better company than me, hey? I reckon too.
I think John is extremely lucky to have Elizabeth. She's incredible. For her to see her loved one sick and unwell on top of his Parkinson's already, she remained calm.
We'll get you out, John, or we'll let Elizabeth come out too.
She's honestly a queen.
All right, John, out we come.
I'm really hoping for John that the hospital can get on top of his infection quickly. If John has developed a pneumonia, this local infection could lead to John having sepsis and is going to be quite dangerous if it doesn't get treated quickly.
Yeah, you just follow us, Elizabeth. Let's roll into the same side, get this off, pop the O2 on the floor.
1, 2, 3.
Intensive care partners Dan and Aaron are under pressure to save an unknown man found unconscious with a shocking head injury.
The ear's bleeding as well, guys.
With the patient's breathing rapidly deteriorating, they must decide whether to take him straight to hospital or perform an emergency roadside intubation.
You want to just hold here and do basic airway? I'll get some gear out.
Intubation is an important and at times really difficult skill.
I'll set up for one go.
There are so many risks, whether that be causing the patient to vomit, causing their heart rate to drop.
If we put maybe like a 5-minute plan on it.
The benefit is potentially saving this man's life.
Blood pressure's accurate.
Yep. Guys, I'm about to have a look. If I do get a good look, I'll ask for a tube. Yep. If he goes to vomit, we might have to be ready to put him on his side. Everyone's clear?
Yep.
Yep.
Intubation is a procedure in which a tube is placed down the windpipe to assist with breathing.
Suction. It's filling up with a lot of blood. There is no view on that.
With an obstructed view of the airway, it's difficult for Dan to be sure he's directing the tube into the correct passage.
I reckon that would be his stomach.
Do you want me to manipulation for you?
All right, let's put the tube on, style it off.
Keep advancing.
Yeah, there it is. We're in. Right. Done.
All right.
It looks like it's misting, so I'd say we're probably going to be in.
All right, what I want you to do is I want you to look at the monitor.
Yep. Let's have a look at his chest as well.
Yep, we got really good end-tidal sats reading. So we got a patent airway.
With the patient's breathing finally stable, the team urgently need to get him to emergency doctors.
He's ventilating really well.
Blood pressure's come down a bit, so that's good.
Seeing these observations improve gives me hope that we're in with a fighting chance.
Aaron, I've just put him up a bit for his head injury.
Yep.
We know that his brain injury is still there. We can't fix that. We need to get him to hospital because he is still extremely critical.
Are you guys right up there?
We are good. We can start mobilising Kari.
So he's clearly got blood in this left ear. I'm looking at the face. It's like he's planted down.
Down, yeah.
At this stage, I still sit here and go, I have no idea what's caused this.
Whether or not he's had a medical event.
Whether he's got a big bleed or...
Yep.
I do sit there wondering, is he going to be okay? Will he wake up? Is he going to get his independence back? And sometimes we don't get answers, and that can be really hard.
We're bringing you the patient that we pre-notified. He is intubated.
You let me know when you're ready to move.
I'm ready when you're ready.
The team, led by Aaron and Dan, have now done everything they can to get their patient to hospital alive.
It's impossible to know right now what the future holds.
Can we go down? Yep.
Yeah.
And truth be told, we've only been involved in our small section, our little snapshot. We just need to go away from that today, content that we've done our best for the patient. So I'm really hopeful that he'll be able to make a full recovery and get back out into the community.
Poor fella.
So, Chris, have you heard from Sam? Is he coming in tomorrow?
The big man is going to be back in tomorrow.
Good news.
So thank you very much for keeping his seat warm.
With night falling, Chris and Laura are finally heading back to base, with their first ever shift together coming to an end. Laura's keen to find out a bit more about how the bromance works.
You guys have been friends for so long.
We have.
Is it weird that you guys live together and then constantly work together as well, or you just love it?
That's probably why he didn't come in today. He was probably sick of me. He needed a break.
Respite.
Which is, yeah, fair enough.
But it was really fun working with someone you haven't worked with before because you have a bit of a different dynamic. I can't say he was better than Aaron. They were definitely different, but he didn't pay me out as much, so that's a win. I don't know if I was as good of a wingman as he is.
No, you've done very well today.
Done well?
You
All right.
pass. He will be back in tomorrow.
The boys are back in town.
What I want you to do is just relax as much as you can.
19-year-old Macy's netball game came to a painful halt when she reached for a ball and dislocated her shoulder.
Big breath.
Oh my God, hold on.
Just keep breathing. Put it in your mouth and keep breathing.
Intensive care paramedic Aaron gently put her shoulder back in position.
Don't go back in.
You did.
The lively patient was taken for scans to make sure there was no structural damage that could stop her playing netball.
Great to have Macy back.
After 6 weeks on the sidelines, Macy's shoulder has healed and she's been given the all clear to take to the court.
I love everything about netball. Some of the girls in the team I've been playing with since I was 5. I'm just excited to get back out there.
Do you wanna do it? And I'll just pass the ball?
No,
Are you
I'm
sure?
the coach and you are
Are you like
first player?
100% sure though? Because I'm happy to sit this one
Oh,
out.
you're hilarious.
I know my coach is going to just love having me back. I'm a bit of a chatterbox to her, and I think I annoy her sometimes, but I know she secretly loves it.
Macy?
Yeah?
Have you told him about your hot paramedic list yet?
My hot...
You've got a list?
As for Macy's special list,
Aaron definitely makes it onto my hot paramedics list, without a doubt. Top of the list. Top of the list.
Hello, John. You had a fall this morning.
85-year-old geologist John was struggling to breathe and shaking uncontrollably after he fell at home.
Is this unusual shaking for you, or is this normal?
No, this is extreme.
This is extreme, okay.
Chris and Laura feared a lung infection was making John's Parkinson's symptoms worse, putting him at risk of dying from pneumonia. 2 months later, John's fully recovered and enjoying spending time with wife Elizabeth and border collie Bella.
Come, this way, Bella.
X-rays revealed John did have pneumonia, most likely caused by swallowing problems. So I need to be a bit careful about the consistency of food that I give him and also the consistency of the fluid. Not that he wants me to thicken his scotch at 4 o'clock. There you go, my love, it's scotch o'clock. Can I get anything else?
Yeah, new brain.
Haha, very funny. Despite the challenges of living with Parkinson's disease, John and Elizabeth make the most of every moment together. Here we go, my love.
Thank you very much. Elizabeth is literally the light of my life. I couldn't overstate the importance of what Elizabeth does. I tell her I love her every night.
John and I have been married for 31 and a bit years. We've had a great life together, and even if it ended tomorrow, I'd be very grateful for what I've had with John. I think we've had more good years of marriage than most people ever do. So, cheers. I hope that other people out there are as fortunate as us.
Chest pain, 7 out of 10. No history of SVT.
No history at all.
31-year-old Kelsey was cooking at home with her young son when her heart suddenly started racing out of control.
All we're going to do is we're going to try and get your wife's rhythm out of this rhythm.
Intensive care paramedic Bill administered the miracle drug adenosine to get it back into rhythm.
It is completely normal to feel strange because what it actually does stops your heart.
Bill was worried this could be the beginning of a tough journey for the young mum.
What are you two doing?
Playing
Well, you're playing.
After a short stay in hospital, Kelsey's relieved to be back with her family after a big scare.
I could feel my heart beating 100 miles an hour. I thought I was having a heart attack. There was a point I thought, what if I do die? What's going to happen? My husband's not going to cope. My son, he needs a mum. I can't die.
Kelsey's instrumental in our family. It sort of just makes you realise how lucky you are when everyone's healthy. Couldn't imagine life without her, to be honest.
After extensive testing and specialist advice, Kelsey now has an action plan in case her heart ever slips back into the dangerous rhythm, SVT.
I've just been trying to stay a little bit more calmer than normal, not to get myself so worked up over things. Enjoy the chaos of being a mum.
Whoa, Benny!
Had we not called the ambulance, I probably wouldn't be here. I'm so grateful for what they did for me. They saved my life.